Hi, Grace. Thanks for joining my Eyes on 2021 blog. Um, so I'm with Grace Zamudio, and we're going to talk about her journey with running and how she's with the new club, Angel City Elite.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So to start off, can you just tell me about your journey with running and like how you got started with it?
Sure. So my first race was when I was 10 years old. I did a community 5K with my dad. And what I remember from that 5K was just that it beat me up and it felt like the longest 25 minutes of my life, but it was also very fun. So after that, my parents helped me get involved in a local youth running program. And I did that for a few years up until high school.
Mhm.
Um, in middle school and stuff, I went to a private school and they didn't offer running. So I went to public school for high school, continued running there, was always kind of like on the cusp of being okay, but never like great enough to go to state or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, and then when I graduated, I went to a community college first. I
Mhm.
went to Glendale Community College, and that's kind of where I got where I saw like my first jump in progress. And yeah, so Glendale Community was 2 years. It was a lot of work, but the coaching there was super great.
Mhm.
They helped me cut down on my times, and I ended up leaving with a scholarship to Loyola Marymount, which
Okay.
is where I finished my my 4 year, my undergrad.
Mhm.
And then yeah, I wish college was longer because I loved running at that level.
Mhm.
It was just so much fun, and like the team aspect, like it's just unmatchable once you leave. Like you really miss it.
Yeah.
So when I did leave college, I was again faced with like, should I continue running? Should I not? But similar to what you were saying, I did see like some other local runners within the area through Instagram really that kept running, and I kind
Mhm.
of saw inspiration through that and was like, yeah, I still want to do this. It's still possible. So I'm still doing that, and I'm currently running and working, but I think one of my main goals and what I want to accomplish before like hanging out like or finish running at this level would be
Mhm.
to do like an Olympic trial qualifier
Oh
in
yeah.
the marathon.
Mhm. Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
And so, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, yeah, I was just gonna ask like a bit more about like your background. I saw that the Angel City Elite website said you're Mexican American.
hmm Yeah. So, on both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, um, my grandparents did immigrate. My grandparents on my dad's side are from Michoacan,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, I never got to meet them. But like, they were awesome people, and they came here and raised a big family, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, kind of came here to live the American dream. On my mom's side, her mom is from Hilgado. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's how it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I could connect. I need to connect. This whole experience has kind of showed me like I need to connect more with my grandma and just like learn more about where she's from, because she actually speaks one of the I think I'm not sure what the language is, but it's like a dying
I
language,
look.
and it's like
Oh.
indigenous to where she's from,
Mm-hmm.
and only a few like thousand people speak it.
Mm-hmm.
And like this whole experience is like kind of taught me like, okay, well, I need to go back to her and like learn more about this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, Mexican American. We were having a discussion. I think I'm second generation then, if my grandparents were from if they immigrated here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
it's
then your
weird because
parents would be first generation.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so second generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much have like the same experience. My grandparents came, brought my parents and my uncles and my tias and tios. Um,
hmm
and now I guess I'm also in the second generation. Um,
Nice.
yeah. Um, so do of your like family members, like has anyone else gone into running like as passionately as you have?
Um, I'm not sure. I think on my grandpa's or my mom's side, there were a few family members, like, but I'm not too close with them. But I know growing up, my grandma is like the most strong-willed woman I've ever met. And like growing up, we would go on walks and she would just go on for miles. So just kind of like that endurance, I think I got from my mom's side,
Hmm.
where like like we would go out in like heat and I was like, Grandma, it's so hot. Um, yeah, just that like determination and just like endurance. I definitely got from my if my grandma had access to like high school sports the same way I did, she would have been an endurance runner for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, my grandma, both my grandmas pretty much didn't drive. So like walking around town was like how they did it.
Yeah, my grandma used to walk everywhere. And growing up, I was like, we have a car, but we
Yeah.
would walk everywhere.
Oh wow.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was just to tire us out.
And then put you guys down to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. But at the time, I was like, wow, you could keep going forever.
Yeah. Um, so you ran at GCC, then LMU, and then from after LMU, like how did your running look like after that?
Yeah. So after I did like a gear sponsorship with Skechers.
Hmm.
They're based in Manhattan I think they are still based in Manhattan. So there were a few of us connected through that. I think that's how I met Sabrina and her sister and my friend Andrea.
Hmm.
Um, there was just we were local and sponsored by that same group. And then we were on a team together for a short time and then kind of dispersed while they went to do the marathon. And I stayed focused on like track and cross country.
Hmm.
And then I joined Cal Coast, which is based in Orange County, and I competed for them.
Hmm.
Um, and then, sorry, it's like 2020 and all the years kind of meshed together. um, Prior to the shutdown, yeah, I was still racing with the Cal Coast jersey. Um, and then during the shutdown, I Sabrina came to me with this idea of an LA based like elite team, and I just there was no questions asked. I just hopped on that train.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, I was like, yes,
Hmm.
this needs to happen. And I think I'm excited for this mostly for uh like people exiting college and are in the SoCal region. It's kind of hard to like find like your footing and seeing like what team to join. And I think like in LA, I don't know, we just need an LA based team like this,
Hmm.
especially one that can like cultivate runners, because I think the theme of this team is going to be like marathon based.
Hmm.
And people just leaving college might not be ready for that jump right away,
Oh
but
yeah.
it is something to look forward to. So I think this group will be great for like developing people too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, can you talk about like a bit more of like the the theme of the team? Like in the articles that were written about the team, it was also mentioned that like you want to be kind of have this like mentorship and just like help even like the young like student athletes like in high school like apply to college and apply for FAFSA and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean, anytime that could be offered, I think it's great. I mean, I think as a team, we just want to like uplift our community and like create content and connect with people and kind of just help them on their journey. We're definitely like, all of us are in that stage of like our running careers where we just want to like find ways of giving back. And so I know for like, and when we were talking about like what this team would do and like at what each level we would provide, like high school we're like, okay, we want to talk to these people and like let them know like running could get you a scholarship, like running could allow you to travel through college, and it's just like such a great experience to be part of. Like for those just exiting college, like, hey, like this is a way to keep running, like keep going, like
Hmm.
there's goals and stuff that you can still do post collegiately.
Hmm.
And then just connecting with like community members, like, hey, like we want to create or increase diversity of our sport through all these different platforms. Like, let's work with you, let's do this together.
Hmm.
So we want to touch on like each single group in a special way.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. When I was doing some research and I found that um, I think it was in 2020 the most recent like poll that the NCAA did of diversity in all the sports, like in the NCAA, in Division One women's cross country, it was either, I think it was like right around 70% white females, and there wasn't even a category for Latino or Latina.
Mm-hmm.
It was white 70, might have been like 71 or 72, 70, around 70% white females, and then the next percentage was I think 8% black, and then like
Mm-hmm.
22% other. So they had
Mm.
Latino, Asian, Pacific Island, like everything else just kind of mashed into this huge group that
Yeah.
20% is pretty big, but not as big as 70%.
Yeah, well, here's a bigger statistic that was in the article too for the largest field of the Olympic trial marathon that we just had this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said 92% was white. So, and that was kind of like a driving force for the, well, I didn't compete there, but just hearing from the experiences of my teammates, like
Yeah.
that was one of the driving forces of creating this group. Like, hey, we want to increase that percentage of that 8%
Mm-hmm.
because there's just so much potential
Mm-hmm.
that different groups can bring. And it's just a special experience to like go to that race. And we want to open that up
Mm-hmm.
and like empower those who are might be on the cusp of, do I really want to do this? Should I not? To empower them to like, yeah, you can. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome because they're like I was the first in my family to like run in college, and
Mm-hmm.
all of my like my mom ran cross country in high school for a year, I think. And I know my sister did like basketball and high school. They both went to Holy Family, which is also in Glendale.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
they basically only did high school sports for like a year or two, and they like had to start working. And my mom was like working two jobs, my sister was working, and I was lucky where I didn't have to work
Mm-hmm.
and I could keep running. But I
Yeah.
could have easily not been able to, or I could have just taken a job and just been like, oh yeah, whatever, running. Like, because I had no idea that it would like open all these doors for me.
Yeah.
So I totally like that message, and like the whole thing, like everything Angel City Elite stands for, like completely resonates with me because
Yeah.
like I didn't have like someone to be like, yeah, like you should totally run in college. It was like my high school coach who he had he had a daughter who ran in college. So I think through that, like he would send me like a bunch of stuff. She actually came to college here in Chicago. She ran at Loyola Chicago, but
Oh,
he would
nice.
like always tell us about her and like send us like she would like write little like not like stories, like essays, kind of like, oh, my year recap, stuff like that, and
Yeah.
like just kind of keep us updated with how she's doing. And like he was kind of like the driving force that like got me, like I didn't reach out to my college coach, he did. And
Mm-hmm.
then my college
Oh,
coach like reached out to me, and I was like, oh wow, this is happening, this is real. I was like, I didn't think I'd be like fast enough for this at all. And I, my first year at least, I really wasn't. I like walked on, and like I remember we had our time trial, like we had to get in the top 20 at the time trial to like make the team basically. So you had
mm-hmm.
like maybe like 15 girls returning, and they were like, or I don't know, 12, 15 girls returning, so there wasn't that many spots for new people. And I got
Yeah.
19th, I think, and I was so happy.
Yes.
Like the best 19th place ever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is definitely visibility in the sport, and
Yeah.
just having role models for the younger athletes. And my sister, even, she played, my youngest sister, she played volleyball for a couple years. Well, I guess like she only stopped because of the shutdown, but she even mentioned one time, she was like, yeah, maybe I could play sports in college like Lippy did. And when she said that, like we are just like sitting at the
Oh.
dining room table, and she must have said this like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. But when she said it, like I literally, like everyone's just like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, like eating. And I was like almost crying. I was like,
Oh, like internally, like, yes.
I wanted to like look
Say it
down my
again.
shoulder. Yeah, so I think everything you guys stand for is just like awesome and really cool. Um, my last question is, when do you think you'll make your Angel City Elite debut race?
So there are a few track races that we're have our eye on. They are local. I mean, it's so like you're at a crossroads, like picking a schedule when you're based in LA, just because you are mindful of like LA being like the hub for the pandemic.
Mhm.
So I think any decision that we make, we're always kind of like trying to make sure that we're doing it in a way that like won't get anyone else sick. But there are a few local races this coming track rate season that we do have our eye on.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're hoping. I know Mount Sac is one, and the APU meet is one.
Mhm.
And I think there's a few over summer that are slated to happen. So we want to post some times and get into those meets, and then hopefully during the fall when marathons resume. Um, I'm not sure if anyone else on my team plans on racing one, but I'm hoping to make my debut then.
Oh, wow.
Um, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of the plan.
You should come race Chicago.
Actually, that is one of my it is on my list because like I said, my the company I work with,
Oh,
they're
nice.
based there. And I don't know, I worked with an attorney that used to live there, and he would just talk on and on about how like you can get anywhere on foot with like the trains and like how nice it is and the food's great. And I want to experience it.
Mhm.
So I want to do the marathon and then like stick around for like a week after and just
Oh, yeah.
experience it.
Yeah. I've heard it's a good debut course. It's not as hilly at all, really.
Yeah.
It's flat.
I know, yeah, and I know CIM is a good option too, but oftentimes CIM is the USATF like marathon championship race.
Mm.
And so like, because I did try to do a marathon back in 2018, I think, but
Mhm.
I had just started a new job, and I think picking that race, it just was a little bit too much pressure just for what it was, and I really just want to have fun with my first one. So I'm hoping Chicago could be my first, or
Yeah.
if not, another one that's in a cool city or location.
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, oh, actually, another question. How did you guys come about with the Angel City name?
Um, we threw a bunch of names together and did a Google poll. um, yeah, Angel City, like I don't know, it just sounded nice. And we like the acronym ACE,
Mm-hmm.
like Angel City Elite ACE. But yeah, Los Angeles, City of Angels, sound pretty cool.
Works. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank
Great
you.
meeting you.